أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to the House of Dua, the channel from which you learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about His creation, about His message, about His messenger, and of course, about His chosen religion of Al-Islam. And welcome to our continuing conversation on verses from the Quran that contain specific messages to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, messages that will guide us on how to live happy life in this world and how to return back to Allah for accountability. My dear brothers and sisters, I hope you have been benefiting from these verses. Today, we are coming to you with a very powerful reminder. Every day of our lives, we ask Allah for something, either for our needs or for protection against our fears. And we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant our needs. But we must not lose sight of the fact too that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may reject our request. He may reject our dua, our supplication. Have you ever paid attention to that? What are the conditions under which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may reject your dua? That's why we are bringing these verses to you today, so that you will know how to craft your dua, the condition under which you should make supplication to Allah, so that you should expect the granting of your needs. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, we are coming to you with verse 216 of Surah Al-Baqarah. There are many things we want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if He were actually to grant them to us, they will harm us. But there are other things at the face value we don't like them. So, if we are called upon to carry out such tasks, we hesitate to do so. We don't want to do so. Whereas if we were to do so, that would be of greater benefit to us. This is the contradiction in human behavior. It boils down to the fact that we don't know anything. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who knows everything. He knows what is good for us, and He will always do that which is good for us. We are very quick at asking, and we are very tenacious when we are asking. And when our needs are not granted immediately, we tend to lose hope. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows why He has not granted your needs. You may not know. You need to keep this at the back of your mind. And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His infinite wisdom, withholds from us those things we ask for, which, if they were to be granted to us, will harm our lives, and we will regret it. But He loves us so much that He will not allow things like that to happen. Therefore, He withholds them. And at your end, you are not happy that what you asked for has not been granted. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were actually to grant all that we ask, both good and bad, all of us will not exist on this planet. We will be destroyed. We will destroy ourselves by ourselves. So you can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows more than we know. It's important for us to keep this at the back of our mind when we're asking Allah. That's why the Anbiya of Allah, whenever they were asking in their time, they will always qualify it by asking Allah, give us that which is good. Allah is the one who knows what is good. Ibrahim alayhi salam was asking for children. He told Allah, grant me children, or grant me a child that is among the righteous. Not just a regular child, a child that is good. Zakaria alayhi salam, the same thing. Rabbi, oh Allah, grant me children that will be pure and acceptable to you. And Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam followed the same example. Imagine when he was asking for knowledge, he said, Allahumma nas'aluka imana sadiqan wa ilman nafi'an. Oh Allah, grant us steady faith and also grant us knowledge that is beneficial. Not all knowledge is beneficial. My dear brothers and dear sisters, we need to be careful over what we ask. That's why we are bringing to you today some verses from the Quran, especially verse 216 of Surah Al-Baqarah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares, Kutiba alaykumul kitab wa huwa kurhun lakum wa asa an takrahu shay'an wa huwa khairun lakum wa asa an tuhibbu shay'an wa huwa sharrun lakum wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down this verse in the early days of Islam when there were struggles, when the enemies of Islam were trying to extinguish the light of Allah, and the believers of the time were being mobilized to defend the religion. But many of them, whenever they were called out that time to go for the way of Allah, they were reluctant to do so. Unfortunately, they didn't know that ultimately that was for their benefit. On the other hand, they were always eager to ask Allah for their immediate benefit, children, wealth, other stuff, materialism of this world. And of course, including things that if they were to be given, they would be destroyed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this beautiful verse. Kutiba alaykumul qital, fighting to defend the religion has been prescribed for you. Even though it appears you don't like it. Maybe you are actually not liking that, which will be better for you if you were to do it. And on the other hand, maybe those things that you love, that you're asking Allah to grant to you, these are things that will harm you if Allah were to grant them to you. It boils down to one thing, therefore. Allah is the one who knows, you don't know. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, in Surah Fusilat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La yasa'amul insanu min du'a'il khair. Wa iza masahum sharrun fayausun kanun. Man doesn't give up when he's asking for that which will benefit him from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He keeps coming, he keeps asking, he keeps calling upon Allah. He never gives up. You know when he gives up? When a little bit of thing that is not likable to him, a little bit of adversity touches him, that's when he gives up. He runs away from Allah. Such a person is not a true believer. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, watch your statements all the time. In Surah Al-Isra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَدِعُ الْإِنسَانَ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاءَهُ بِالْخَيْرِ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ عَجُولًا. Man is always in a hurry to ask for that which is good. At the same time, he's also in a hurry to ask for that which is bad inadvertently. He doesn't know he's asking for that which is bad for him. In other words, man is always in a state of asking, good or bad. And he considers whatever he's asking to be good, whereas inside some of them, no, it's for his own self-destruction. Therefore, we have to be careful what we ask Allah for. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows more than all of us. In Surah Yunus, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if Allah were to hasten to grant to you those wrong things you are asking for, the evil you are asking for yourself and your children out of anger. Do you know there are people when they are angry, it doesn't matter whether you are a son or brother, they start cursing at you. What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to grant those curses? You are stupid. God punish you. You will not die well. You are supplicating to Allah, you don't know. What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to grant those requests? Either upon you or upon your children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if he were to do that, just as he does grant your good request. For example, you ask Allah, oh Allah, grant me resources to go to Hajj. Oh Allah, make me a good Muslim. Oh Allah, make my children good children. These are good things you are asking for. And Allah is always there to grant them. Allah says, the same way he hurried to grant your good, if he were to hurry to grant those things that will harm you, which you are indirectly asking for, on behalf of yourself and your children, then you would have ruined yourself on this planet. You would have found yourself in self-destruction. But Allah does not do so. Why? Because out of his mercy, he loves us so much that he will always filter away those bad things that you are asking for, those harms that you are asking for, those evil that you are asking for, He will filter them away and grant you that which is good. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how far He loves us. But those who are not looking forward to meeting Allah on the day of accountability, leave them. Let them be wallowing in ignorance because they don't know what they are doing. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, the summary of what we are saying today is be mindful of what you ask for. As we stated yesterday, the month of Ramadan is around the corner. The month for asking. Allah is ready to grant your desires if you ask the right way. From what we have discussed now, you can see that Allah is not ready to grant that to you which He knows will harm you, even though you don't know. So also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not grant you what is prohibited by Him. Many of us go about asking for things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited. So also if we ask, not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not following the example of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, in order to qualify for Allah's favor and mercy, you first of all have to believe in Him. And you have to believe in His beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, sent as the final messenger to mankind. To do otherwise, Allah says, we leave you to be wallowing in ignorance until the day of accountability. My dear brothers, my dear sisters, watch what you ask for. Allah may turn your request down. Don't be surprised. But if you ask for what is good, Allah will definitely not leave you in vacuum. He will grant your needs. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. Take shaitan away from our life. Take our lives far away from the shaitan. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله وبحمده ونسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.